Hello everyone, welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 572 named Subtree of another tree. In this problem, we are given two trees, one is root and another is subroot. So we have to determine whether this subroot is the subtree of this root or not. So here we can see that the root has the root element 3, which has two children, 4 and 5, and the root 4 has two children, which is 1 and 2. And the subroot 4 has two children, 1 and 2. So we can see that this subroot 4, 1 and 2 is presented here, which is 4, 1 and 2. So we can say that this subroot is the subtree of this root. So here we have to return true. Otherwise, if this is not, then we have to return false. I hope you understood the problem statement. Now let's move on to the algorithm. Now, to solve this problem, you have to understand what is DFS, what is in-order traversal, and you have to solve the is same tree problem of the LeetCode. If these three concept is clear, you can proceed. Otherwise, if you don't know any of the concept, then I would recommend at first try to learn it, or at least solve the is same tree problem on the LeetCode. Then after that, you will go into this algorithm. Now, here we can see that this subtree 4, 1 and 2, this is the subtree of this. Or we can say that this subroot presented as a subtree into this root. So we have to simply return true. Now how can we solve this problem? Here, at first, we have to run a DFS from the root node and from the subtree here. So here, we have to determine whether this root or this tree is exactly same as this tree or not. But we have seen that this tree is not equal of this tree. So we have to simply try to check whether this subtree, which is 4, 1 and 2, is exactly equal to this subtree, which is 4, 1, 2 or not. So here we have seen that both of them are equal. So we have to return true. Now, the problem is reduced into, we have to determine whether this subtree is equal to this subtree, or we have to check whether both of the tree is equal or not. So here, this is the is same tree problem. Now, our current root is 4 and our current root is 4 here. So we have to run the DFS into its left children, and again from 4 the DFS call will be in this one. Now from this one it has two children, both of them are null, and both of them will return true. So it will return true. Now again for this node 4, the call will be presented in this node 1. So here the algorithm is pretty simple. We have to simply check whether the both of the tree is equal or not. In the first DFS, as they are not equal, so we have to check whether its right subtree is equal or not. Otherwise, we have to check whether its left subtree is equal to this subtree or not. And if they are, we have to return true. Otherwise, we have to return false. Now here, this function is given is subtree which has a root and the subroot, and here root is null, we have to return false. Otherwise, we have to check whether this root and subroot is equal to or not. If it is, we have to return true. Otherwise, we have to recursively call the DFS function or is subtree function onto the root of left and root of right. And here in the is same function, we have to check whether both of the root is null or not. If it is, we have to return true. Otherwise, if any of them is null, we have to return false. Otherwise, if the root value and subroot value is not equal, we have to return false. Otherwise, we have to simply recursively call the same function onto the root of left and root of right with the subtree of left and subtree of right. This is how we're going to solve this problem. Thank you everyone for watching the video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.